host this time.
I was just going to say that. Like, hopefully we don't lose it this time.
Oh, man.
Until it
Hello,
randomly...
friends. How is everyone tonight? Let us know if you can hear us.
Say hi in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, Krista's here.
Yay.
Yay, yay.
Right on 7 o'clock, Krista. You're on top.
I know. She is like on it.
I'm impressed.
She's like, present. Oh, man. How's everyone feeling tonight?
Very excited.
Krista, we have secrets. We have secrets too.
Not many.
Mary Lou. I don't know if I knew your name was Mary Lou. Yay. All right. Well, everybody, let us know how your weekend's going. Is everybody ready for Halloween coming up? I just ordered like last minute costume things today for my older kids.
I kind of forgot about like having to buy candy to hand out.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, pick that up.
Oops.
I live on a farm and we have no one coming here, so I don't have to do that.
That's nice.
I didn't know you lived on a farm. That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it used to be in the middle of nowhere, but now there's construction all around us, so soon we'll have neighbors.
Of course. What and all is on your farm?
Mostly.
I know you do bees, right?
Yeah, we have lots of bees. We do have an apple orchard, so that's been fun for fall. We've been making all the apple things. We have like 2 patches of garden, a whole like very large chicken coop, and then we have like big warehouse facilities where we process honey and harvest honey. So it's like half farm, half I don't know,
honey manufacturing,
honey factory. Yeah,
very cool. I loved it. I grew up on a dairy farm, so I totally feel you living in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we used to be surrounded by like horses and llamas. I grew up with lots of llamas around me.
Llamas around.
But now everything's like quiet, and all the fields are just slowly turning into developments. We don't live in the middle of nowhere anymore.
Growing up, we always lived out in the middle of nowhere.
Like my trick-or-treating is we got in the car and like drove to
the neighbors.
Yeah.
The nice neighborhoods where they give big candy.
Yep. Now we live in town, and so
now I live in that neighborhood. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, right down the road from us is like the main street that everybody trick-or-treats on, so we don't get that many, and we always go down there, but we get some. But I feel like it's easy. If you end up like forgetting to buy candy, you just turn your lights off and whatever. It's not a huge deal because there's so many other houses around that do it. So
awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, Tia, how are you guys doing? How was your weekend?
Good. The weekend went by so fast. I couldn't even tell you what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what, since we just moved here, I don't know how trick-or-treating is in our area at all. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Do your kids go trick-or-treating?
Well, so they didn't go last year, obviously. I don't know if where we live, they were not doing trick-or-treating. And then my oldest, I think she's too old to do trick-or-treating anymore. I had to tell her, like, I think people might be mad if you show up at the door and ask for candy. You look like a grown-up.
Nobody gets mad around here. Teenagers come to our door and we're like, here, have all the candy.
Well, she's
like, there's so many worse things that you can be doing tonight. I will gladly give you candy.
So she'll walk around. We'll all go walk around together, but I don't know if she'll go to doors or not, but the younger two will.
Fun. Yeah, my 11-year-old, she's like, there's kids at school that think that they're too old for trick-or-treating. She's like, since when are you too old for candy? Like, it's free candy. You're never too old for free candy. So they're all into it. They're going as video game characters that I have no idea what they are. So that's okay. It'll be fine. But yeah. Hello, everybody in the chat. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Yay for Historathon. We're so excited.
Oh my god, so excited.
So excited.
I think his November is going to be historical fiction, which is my favorite, and then nonfiction, which is my second favorite. And I'm like, it's going to be my favorite reading month.
Oh, that's like the, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Move on.
Historical fiction and nonfiction are very complementary to each other.
They are.
Like they complement each other well.
And how fun to read like a historical fiction, but then read the nonfiction, like true thing that happened. I feel like that's a good pairing.
That should have been one of our prompts. That would
Like
have
the
been a good
children's
prompt.
blizzard.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ones that you could pair.
Oh, Gloria, you just came up with
Well, Debbie, I am so glad you are here. Yay for Krista.
Yay.
Krista's our advertisement. Our
little influencer.
We pay her well. But anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to let everybody here introduce themselves. That way, in case anyone is unfamiliar with any of my special guests. So I'm Amanda. I am hosting Historathon this year, and Lindsey is my co-host. Lindsey, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Lindsey from Lindsey's Little Library. I inserted myself into Amanda and helping her host Historathon. Like, totally jumped up and down and was like, "Please pick me." Historical fiction is just my jam. It's really what has got me into reading a long time ago. So I am so excited.
Yay. All right, Gloria, you want to go?
Yeah. I was also invited by Amanda, and I'm so excited to join in. And yeah, I love reading historical fiction. I don't know what it is about it. I just love diving into the world, and I feel like most are usually based on somewhat true events or true characters. So I feel like I learn something or have really good takeaways. So I love historical fiction so much. Mm-hmm. So excited.
Yay. All right, Tia.
Hi, I'm Tia, and I have no idea why I'm here.
Because you're amazing.
No, I read historical fiction too, but I don't get to read it as much as I would like because I like to read all the genres, and I feel like
Tia reads very, very broadly.
Yes.
Like you are probably one of the most diverse readers that I know.
I feel like I used to read a ton more historical fiction than I do since I joined BookTube because I just got interested in all the genres once I joined BookTube. Yeah, but I do love historical fiction and similarly to what Gloria was saying. I like it because you can learn things. I usually end up, Googling the time period or the characters if it's based around an actual historical figure and learning a lot from it. So,
Same.
Absolutely.
And then I want to know, like, what parts of the book were based on history, what were made up. Like, historical fiction books are probably the only books that I will thoroughly read the author's note at the end.
Yes. I know my kids enjoy historical fiction, and my one daughter is like, I never read the author's note. I'm like, that's the best part of the book. Because then you get to hear, like, why they wrote it.
Especially Ariel Lawhan's author notes. I don't know. She's awesome.
Absolutely. All right. We are just going to dive right in. And basically what we're going to be doing tonight is going through each of the 5 prompts for Historathon and giving you guys recommendations. And we are going to talk about books together. We're going to talk about books with you. We want to hear all of your recommendations in the comments. So throw them out there. Whenever I'll put up a banner that has the prompt, and you guys can just go ham and let us know all your recommendations. And we're hoping that this can just kind of be a big old recommendation palooza.
I like it.
Be prepared for your TBRs to grow immensely. And hopefully this can kind of help you figure out what you want to read for Historathon. So, without further ado, let's get into our first prompt. The first prompt that we're going to talk about is books involving transportation. So, if you have any recommendations for books that involve transportation, now this can involve any form of transportation that you want, even if it involves like somebody like going on a hike, you know, like that could count. So, yeah, Lindsey, you want to start us off?
Oh, sure. Did you see me grab the book already? I'm like, yes. The Life She Was Given by Ellen Marie Wiseman. Definitely have some transportation vibes. It's so good. So 1931, we have Lily. She basically lives in her attic and is not allowed to leave it. And we kind of don't know why. We know there's something with it. Until one night her mom takes her to the circus. The circus, the train came into town and it's there and she's all excited to go until she realizes her mom is selling her to the circus. So she joins them and leaves on a train. It's so good. It's so good. And there's dual timelines, so you have present day and in the past and figuring out how it all happened.
Such a good book.
But such a good
really
book.
Good. Trigger warning for animal cruelty, though.
Yes, big time.
I mean, it's the circus, so just if that's something that you might not want to read about. Gloria?
I just saw someone put Where the Lost Wander, and I'm like so mad at myself because that's been my favorite book this year, and I'm like, how did I not think of that?
I that's not on my list either, and I read it this year.
And I was like, what? So but yes, Where the Lost Wander. But I picked Ruta Sepetys, Salt to the Sea, and then that's also her second book,
Between Shades of
Grey. Both involve transportation. This one is about trying to get onto a boat, and then Between Shades of Grey is get on a train to Siberia, and it's just both of these books are so good. She
has a new book coming out in February.
I know, I'm so excited.
I just pre-ordered it. So
did you know that there's a link between characters in Salt to the Sea and Between Shades of Grey?
Which ones?
Yes,
we can talk about it later.
Okay.
One of the characters in Salt to the Sea is the cousin of the main character in Between Shades of Grey.
From Lithuania?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Should put that together. I also read them pretty close last year together because I was just like, oh my God, I need to read all of Ruta Sepetys.
Ruta Sepetys is so good.
I get to see her at an author event. Like if you ever have the opportunity to go see her, she's a fantastic speaker as well. And the amount of research that she did to write those two books is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I love her author's notes. I feel like I truly, I dived into this world. I loved it so much.
Yeah. Her books are definitely ones that have provoked me to like go into deep dives, like internet deep dives.
Yes.
Like all of them have, because you had the Wilhelm Gustaf, you have, I think Between Shades of Grey is the first book I read that really brought to light like the whole Russian side of World War II for me. I feel like in America in school, we're not really taught about that much. It really focuses on Pearl Harbor and the Holocaust. And so I think I just like glossed over that and I didn't really retain much of what was going on with Stalin. And so I like went in a huge Russian deep dive after reading that. And then Fountains of Silence too. Like
someone mentioned that.
Spanish Civil War. I was like, how did I not know that this even happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like you've heard of it, but you don't know like what it really means.
Yeah.
So
I will say it is YA though. So
it is YA.
There is a little bit of a young adult kind of romance maybe sometimes thrown in there, which if people don't want that, maybe don't avoid it. But but I still loved it.
Oh my goodness. Tia, did you have one for this prompt?
Yeah. How many are we allowed to say?
However many you want.
Oh, my friend.
Just list them off. I have like 5, so.
I have a disclaimer though. Like all of my red books are still packed.
That's
so I didn't bring any books. I don't have any books to hold up.
Okay.
I just have titles.
Okay. So let's see. I want to recommend Water for Elephants, although I'm sure everyone has already read that, but that can count for multiple prompts.
Mhm.
There's a train in there, like he jumps the train and they ride the train a lot. And it's a
It's a book to
three-word
movie
title.
adaptation.
Three-word title.
3-word title.
Read it. Everybody else already's read it. And
Yeah.
so that's a good one. And then The Great Train Robbery by Michael Crichton. Obviously, that's involving a train. It's a good one. It is based on a true story that happened during Victorian England times. And his writing's always really engrossing.
I love Michael Crichton's writing.
And then I have a middle grade one, Riding Freedom. That's kind of a different kind of transportation. He works with horses and ends up, riding horses. And
it's really short too. It's really good.
That one had me researching her as a
person.
Character.
I agree. That one's super good. I know people in the comments have already said Orphan Train. That one obviously is fantastic. Another one that I would recommend is The Giver of Stars. It has to do with the Packhorse Library. So
I do have that one.
Oh, Tia, you would like that one.
I'm the only person who hasn't read this.
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
It's a 3-word title.
I haven't read it either, so it's on my possibility pile.
The two people
it is such a good book. I love that. I think that was in my top 5 last year because it was just my thing is, if you like Where the Crawdads Sing, I feel like you'll like Giver of Stars. They have very similar vibes to them. So another one. Oh, go ahead.
I said I haven't read that either.
You haven't?
I guess I need to add that one too.
You need to add that one to your list. It's a good one too. I think I like Giver of Stars a little bit more, which is probably an unpopular opinion. But yeah. Another one that I think would make a good one for this that is actually a middle grade is Refugee by Alan Gratz.
Oh, so good.
Such a good one. It's like 3 different time periods, but they're all historical. And it follows 3 different kids that are refugees. So like one's a Holocaust refugee, one's trying to escape Cuba, and one's trying to escape Syria, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's such a good book, but that one is another one. So
I thought of one, Amanda, that I know you love too, Codename Verity. It's all about flying.
So good, flying.
Also young adult, but also good and very transportation heavy. So a lot of plane talk
in that one. And I loved that book.
Good friendship too. Good female friendship in that one.
Yes.
Like very loyal female friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes.
Same with like Alice Network and Lost Girls of Paris. Similar traveling in there.
Another one that I'm going to kind of go through some of the comments too. This Tender Land. Definitely. They're on a boat. So that one's fun. The Lincoln Highway. I really want to read this one. This one might be going on my TBR.
I have it sitting over here. I'm so excited for that.
I'm very excited.
It's a long one.
I haven't read from this author yet. I'm nervous.
Oh,
it's like 580 pages.
Yeah, look at this thing. It's massive.
Yeah, I feel like, but Gentleman in Moscow was really long too.
It was, and it went really fast, and I really loved him.
Yeah. Gloria, I bet you would like well, I don't know. Do you
don't know.
Character driven or do you like plot driven?
I do like character. I don't know. I'm so torn. I know I need to pick it up and read it. I'm probably gonna love it because it's Moscow. Hello, Russia.
Yeah, if you like Moscow and you like character driven, definitely read Gentleman in Moscow.
Yeah,
you will love him.
So good.
Yeah, I need to do it. That's the book that we'll get to it. I'm asked to read.
Another good one, Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. Has to do with motorcycles.
Oh yeah.
So that would be a good one to read.
So many of these on my TBR.
I'm just like trying to quickly go through some of these and somebody finished Fountains of Silence today. I hope you loved it because I love that book.
The first line in that book is epic.
It's so good. I have never heard of this.
Oh, me neither.
The Second Life of Muriel West by Amanda Skenendor. I have never heard of that book. So most of these I've heard of, but yeah.
I love a good recommendation that's off the beaten path. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Here's another, is it? There it goes. Flight Girls. I have this one too. This would make a good one for me to add to my TBR. I'm trying to decide. I have not decided on my TBR yet. I need to probably get that nailed down soon. But I figure that's what tonight's for, to help me kind of nail that down a little bit. All right. Does anybody have any more recommendations? Gloria, Tia, Lindsay? Did you guys have anything else for this one?
I feel like I'm probably missing a bunch.
No?
But no.
Maybe.
This is what I want to
Lindsay,
read.
are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I get frozen.
What is it?
Oh, sorry. The Flight of Dreams by Ariel Lahan. This is what I want to read for mine. It's about the Hindenburg.
I think I have that one too. Because that's about the blimp, right?
Yeah, the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued on my TBR potentially is a newer release called Dangerous Women. It's, I think, about the women who were transported to Australia. So it's on a boat.
Ooh.
I've heard no one talk about that one though, but I've seen it at like Barnes & Noble and it looks cool. So that one's a maybe.
I'm all down for cover like buys. That's how I do. I go into the library and I'm like, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but it looks cool. I'm going to read it. Or a bookstore or a thrift store or anything. So, all right, let's move on to prompt number 2. Let's talk about a book that you feel like you're the last one to read. So, Water for Elephants. I feel like there are a handful that are just like givens. So, The Nightingale, Where the Crawdads Sing. I feel like those two are like top
I
of the
literally
list.
have like both of them right here.
Yeah.
The Help, yes.
Oh, The Help. Yep.
Kite Runner.
Book Thief.
Before We Were Yours.
I have that on my list. Before We Were Yours. The Book Thief.
The Alice Network, because I think I was literally
another one that I had on my list that was really popular last year was As Bright as Heaven. I feel like everybody was reading As Bright as Heaven last year. And it is so good.
So good.
Highly recommend if you have not read that one yet. If you can read about a pandemic, because it has to do with the Spanish flu. So as long as you're in a spot where you can deal with the pandemic, that one definitely.
Very interesting parallels. Just saying.
Yep.
The like Tattooist of Auschwitz is one that I haven't read it yet, but I feel like I
haven't read that one. We Were the Lucky Ones. I feel like a lot of people have read that one. Tia, did you have any that we haven't screamed out yet?
I think you got them.
Oh man.
Outlander. Does that one count?
What one?
Yeah.
Outlander.
Oh yeah, Outlander. I put Lovely War on my list. Also, here, The War That Saved My Life. I feel like that's a middle grade that I feel like is hands down everybody's go-to. Oh yeah, this is a good one. The Diviners. This is like a historical fantasy kind of paranormal. So that one. The Four Winds. I feel like a lot of Kristen Hanna, The Great Alone.
Yeah.
I just finished
Winter
The Great
Garden
Alone today.
Yep. Winter
Garden.
Garden.
Gloria.
You just finished it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, on my drive home. I just finished it.
So
I'm
good.
thinking about adding that one to my TBR, but I can't do that and The Lincoln Highway because
It's really heavy.
Really long.
It's very heavy.
If you're not up for a really, really heavy book, yeah.
Does Daisy Jones and the Six count as historical?
Yes.
Totally.
Absolutely.
I read that for sure.
70s. That was like 50 years ago.
Gentleman in Moscow, Gone with the Wind.
Secret Life of Bees. That's one.
Oh, yeah. I have that one. I haven't read that one yet.
How about Time Traveler's Wife?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't read that yet.
You haven't read that yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you froze again.
Ugh.
There you go. What? Oh my goodness. Sorry, this is going back to the other one. Women living in California in the 1920s who contracts leprosy and is sent to New Orleans to live in a leper colony.
I need that book.
That's going on my TBR. Like, that sounds fascinating. That sounds so good. All right. Anything else that you feel like could fit? I feel like either of the Ruta Sepetys books could probably fit into this category. I feel like they get talked about quite a bit. All right.
Someone asked
Cheryl,
a question.
go ahead.
Yeah.
You saw it. You go.
I was going to say, someone asked a question about Historathon. I don't know if Amanda wanted to answer.
Yeah, I'm typing it. Historathon is going to take place from November 1st to the 10th this year. And then next year, it'll be the full month again. Since we did a full month in February, we're just going to do a short one to hold us over until next November. So, all right. I feel like we got through that prompt pretty quickly. Just rattling them all off. So let's move to this next one. I think this one's going to be a little bit harder, but let's talk about book to movie adaptations. So historical fiction, book to movie adaptations.
Gone with the Wind. The Help.
The Help.
And it's not out yet, but The Nightingale.
The Nightingale is coming.
Comes out this year.
I feel like as long as they're in production, then they count.
Also, Where the Crawdad Sings comes out.
So Where the Crawdad Sings would count
in April.
But if they've only been optioned, they don't count. They have to actually be in production.
Thought there were no rules.
Because I'm totally going to be policing everybody and telling you it counts.
Amanda's going to show up. She's on
Read whatever you want. You can read something that you wish was an adaptation, and I honestly, you read whatever you want. But what about you, Tina? What did you come up with?
Let's see. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know if I can recommend it, but I want to read it.
Me too.
That's a great one.
I think everyone's read this but me too. So
I haven't read it.
Me neither.
Recommendation.
Yeah. And then the Enola Holmes.
Oh yeah.
I have read this.
That's a great recommendation too.
And the show's really cute as well. It's on Netflix if you haven't already read The Case of the Missing Marquess. Oh, and Poldark. I've read Poldark, but I haven't watched the show yet. I want to watch the show, but
it's good.
The Ross Poldark, the first one, is a really good historical fiction book if you haven't read that already. And I don't know, is Daisy Jones in the Six, is it optioned or is it confirmed?
It has been cast.
Oh, it has.
So I think it has been cast. A couple of her books have been cast because One True Loves has been cast.
Oh, really?
And I think Daisy Jones and the Six has been cast. I think those are the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Debbie, really quick. Debbie had said that I talked about Salt to the Sea being a movie. It was Between Shades of Grey. Between Shades of Grey has been, it's a movie. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
It's called Ashes in the Snow.
Subtitled.
Yeah.
But it is called Ashes in the Snow.
Mm-hmm.
So that one would count. Ooh. So.
Oh, and Water for Elephants. Did we say that yet?
Yeah, Water for Elephants. Sorry, I cut you off, Gloria. Go ahead with your list.
No, you're fine. I thought of Light Between Oceans, kind of a popular book that a lot of people, the Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Society.
I forgot about that one.
News of the World. That one is recently came out with Tom Hanks. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I want to.
Cute. I like it.
And then two that I haven't read the books, and I don't plan to read the books, but I know that people like these books. The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro is actually a historical fiction about like a butler in England.
Oh.
There's a movie. And then The English Patient. I know that's kind of like a popular book too that has a movie, but I haven't read it.
I haven't read those ones. All right, Lindsey, go. What do you got?
Oh, geez. I think you said most of my ideas. I got nothing other than I want to read Bridgerton.
I had The Red Tent, which is biblical fiction. So good. It was a mini series. The Queen's Gambit just was on Netflix. That's a book. I like the show better, but the book was good. The Other Bolian Girl is a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the book was so good. I love that book. That was like what got me into historical fiction. Like, love it. So those were just some that I had come up with. But there's quite a few in the comments to Memoirs of a Geisha, Krista says.
Good.
That would be a fantastic one. I did not know that this was a movie. Snowflower and the Secret Fan.
I
didn't know that was a movie.
Although, maybe skip the movie. Looks like.
Redeeming Love is coming out soon.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. That one, like the trailer's already out. So
really?
Yep. So that one's coming out soon. The Book Thief is a movie. So that could count for a couple of different
that's right.
And yeah, Bridgerton. I'm trying to see what else is in here. Oh yeah, a few of the different Philippa Gregory books have been turned into shows. So The White Queen, there's a princess one too that's in there too.
Did we say Outlander?
Oh yeah, Outlander. Nobody said Outlander. Outlander.
I haven't read or seen the show, but I hear it's good.
I read the book and I tried watching the show and I couldn't get through it. It was not my cup of tea, which is a very unpopular opinion. But 84 Charing Cross Road. I did not know that that was a movie.
That's a true story, though, so I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, like Guernsey, some of these I had totally forgot about. The Help, things like that. There's some good ones. The Pacific. I've never heard of this. What is this one about? I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued when it comes to historical fiction. Because, yeah, it's not super common for historical fiction to be adapted. But it does happen. So, yeah. Anything else that you guys can think of? I feel like we're flying through this pretty quick.
I know.
Anybody else in the...
Isn't Time Traveler's Wife a movie?
Oh, yeah. Time Traveler's Wife is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these that we're talking about can cover multiple prompts. So definitely make that work in your favor for sure.
North, South. Didn't you just
Oh, yeah.
South?
North and South.
I mean, like all the classics, really.
That's
Yeah.
a big miniseries.
With like Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Along the lines of Band of Brothers, but based in the Pacific. Interesting.
Beneath the Scarlet Sky is a movie or show?
I didn't know that. Is Beneath the Scarlet Sky? I didn't know that that was a movie. Sorry, I have a fuzz. It's floating around right in front of my face. Swatting at air.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird. Yes.
Oh, yes. See, this is why we invited all of you to join us, so you can tell us all these things that we're not thinking of. All the great minds think alike, right? Or don't think alike. That's why we have you guys here. All right, we ready to move on to the next one? Let's go for books with 3 words in the title. I feel like this is a really easy one, especially with historical fiction. I feel like a lot of historical fiction books have 3 words in the title. And you can decide if you want to count the and a, if you want to count articles. That's totally up to you. But yeah, so who wants to start? Gloria, You get to go
Okay.
first.
I'll talk about my 2 books that I want every historical fiction lover to read. The first one is Dear Mrs. Bird, a new favorite.
Oh, that's right. That was the one that you told me I had to read.
I'm not going to stop talking about it. It was so good. And the audiobook was fantastic. It was like very easy to get through. It was such a good reading experience. I was so invested and I just wanted to sit and like finish it all in one go. So cute. It was heartwarming and sad at the same time. Really good female friendship. Some romance that's like cute. I loved it, and very funny, made me laugh a lot, and I don't find a lot of stuff funny. So that one, Dear Mrs. Bird. And then the other one, City of Thieves by David Benioff. This is a very small historical fiction set in St. Petersburg, also about friendship. So good. It's the author is the creator of Game of Thrones, actually. Not that this has anything to do with Game of Thrones, but this is a well-written book. And also very, very interesting humor. I will say, warning that there's language in here, but it follows 2 like teenage boys and kind of has some crude humor, but like the humor is kind of fitting for who they are as characters and the different stuff they experience. But this is like a survival story. And it's so good. Really interesting if you like are at all interested in like what Russia was like during the war, and living in St. Petersburg in the winter. It's fascinating. Love this book so much.
Awesome.
That's my pitch.
PR ASAP, because those both sound fantastic. All right, Tia, what you got?
Well, let's see. Summer of 69. That's 3 words by Elaine Hildebrand. If you haven't read that, it's a good one. It follows a family, I think in Nantucket, right? Isn't that where she writes all of her books? Have y'all read Elaine Hildebrand? I think it's Nantucket.
I haven't.
I think you're right.
Like, 3 sisters and their mom and their grandmother and everything that they go through during the summer of 69. It's kind of like, I loved it, but it's kind of like soap opera-y. You get involved in all their family drama and stuff with little hints of like what's going on that year too. Like the Kennedys are mentioned and the war and everything. Let's see. Someone mentioned The Great Alone. That's another great one by Kristen Hanna. It's pretty heavy though, so beware of that if you're not into that. The Trader's Wife, and I'm blanking on who that was written by, but it's
I just got that one.
Yeah, it's about Benedict Arnold's wife. It was really interesting, especially if you were into Turn, the show that came out.
It has Peggy Shippen in it, right?
Yes. So I love that show, and then I watched the book so like right around the same time. So it really worked for me.
Such a good show.
Yeah. And then The Lost Apothecary. That's 3 words too by.
Oh, that's such a good one.
So good.
I haven't read it, but I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't read it.
Oh, you should read
it. Recommendation though.
I think that's
all right, Lindsey. What you got? Oh, were you done? Sorry, were you done, Tia?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure I didn't cut you off.
I have The Queen's Secret by Karen Harper. I just read that not that long ago. It is about not like the current queen, but her mom and how she handled World War II and dealing with Churchill and the scandal that happened with the former king and all of that stuff. And it's gives me very like The Crown vibes. It was really, really good. And I Was Anastasia by Ariel Lawhon. It's her take on what she thinks happened to Anastasia Romanoff. So good. So good. Fair warning, if you go into it, the way her timeline works is a little different. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Really good.
We're aware. We got it.
In what way is it different without spoiling?
So you have 2 timelines and they're kind of converging
together
on each other. But like in the chapter, at some points you're going back in time. Like the chapter starts in the past, but you go a little forward in the chapter, but then you go back and you go a little forward. So it's just, you got to really pay attention to the dates.
Gotcha.
It sounds really interesting.
And Krista just said it. She had a hard time with the timeline too, until I talked her through it.
It sounds interesting.
It's so good. And that's probably her author's note at that the end of that book is amazing. But you can't read it before you read the book. But so good. And then The Great Alone, Yellow Wife. There's so many. Oh, the Alice Network. So
there's a bunch we've already mentioned that are 3 words too, like Water for Elephants, Book Thief. And...
Yep. The Kitchen House is one that I have. It's an older one, but it is so good. That was one that I was just like, I was so into it. I could not stop listening to it.
And then the second one, Gloria Over Everything.
Gloria Over Everything. Both of those would work for that. Fountains of Silence.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone in the comments mentioned My Dear Hamilton and America's First Daughter. Those are 2 good ones. Codename Verity is a 3-word one. So yeah, there's lots to pick from. All right. Here, Witch of Blackbird Pond.
Oh yeah.
The Yellow Wife you talked about. Wartime Sisters. This one would be good for the book to movie adaptation. Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be a good book to movie adaptation. All right, let's see. The Four Winds. In Another Time. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Ooh. I just hit something on my computer and it started scrolling really fast. Oh man. Sparks Like Stars. I don't know what that one's.
That one's set in Afghanistan, I think.
Okay. That one, I feel like that one's fairly a recent one.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Swan and the Winemaker's Wife.
Oh, I have that one.
So yeah, there's some good ones here. There's some here that I have never heard of. So it sounds like I'm going to be doing some research here in the next couple of days before I film my TBR because I still need to come up with that. So yeah, let's see. All right. You ready to go on to the last one? I think we're on the last one. My favorite. Middle grade. A historical middle grade. So, Tia, you want to start us off? Do you have any?
Sure. So you can basically read Pam Munez Ryan.
Anything.
Esperanza Rising is probably my favorite one by her. I love that book. It's so good.
Such a good book.
Echo, Writing Freedom that I already mentioned. The Wednesday Wars, does that count? I think that was in the 60s.
That's Vietnam. Vietnam War.
By Gary Schmidt. That was a good one. It's also a 3-word title. Let's see. Is Fever 1793 considered middle grade?
I have that.
It's good.
I think she's
once again a pandemic book, so
it's cool.
I know you're cool with it. I'm just saying, like, for everyone.
I'm like answering for everybody. Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. Totally fine.
And then let's see. I have 2 more. I actually have these because my kids have them. So this is a mystery. The Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow by Catherine Woodfine. This takes place in London, like at a department store when a mystery happens. Something gets stolen. It was a good one. And then another mystery is The World's Greatest Detective.
Ooh, I've been wanting to read that.
Carlson. This is really good. My kids loved this one. So if you're into historical mysteries, they're good.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like Pam Munez Ryan, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
they're my favorite. Fantastic. The Dreamer by her too is historical. It's really good too. All right, Gloria, you're up.
One that I read recently that I really, really liked is Milkweed by Jerry Spinelli. It's set during World War II in Poland. And it just follows this one little boy who's like an orphan boy, poor boy, and his survival story. And it's really, really good. I really enjoyed that. And then I haven't read it since I was a kid, but I remember really, really loving Number the Stars. Mm-hmm. It's like that blue cover with the girl and the necklace. Yeah. I feel like I'm maybe due for a reread of that because I just remember that was like amazing.
My daughter's teacher just read that to them.
Yeah.
So she was like, it's about this girl during World War II. And I'm like, is it Number of the Stars? Yeah.
It's either that or the Diary of Anne Frank.
Diary of Anne Frank. She's in 5th grade, so Diary of Anne Frank's a little above her. But yeah. All right, Lindsay, what do you got?
The War That Saved My Life and Refugee. Oh, I did pull off my Laura Little House on the Prairie book.
Oh, yeah.
That's like falling apart because I literally read this so much that it's falling apart. But
Eat that, girlfriend.
Right?
That's a book to TV too.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that show like obsessively after school. Apparently when this was only $3.95 brand new. Just saying.
Inflation, man.
I know, right?
Gotta love it.
But I pulled this off because of you, Tia.
Fever 1790.
Nope.
It's a good one.
You should read it.
It's about the yellow fever. It's a good one.
I'm in.
All right.
Oh, and I was going to ask, did anybody read this one?
Yeah, I own it. I have not read it yet, but I do own it.
Revolutionary War.
Yep. That and what's it called? It's a trilogy by Laurie Hall Sanderson. The first one's Chains. It's like Chains, Ashes, and something else. Forge. Yes.
Forge. Yeah.
Yeah, I have those ones too. Yeah.
And my daughter just read Prisoner B3087 and really liked it.
That's Alan Gratz too. That's the same guy who wrote Refugee. That's a great one. Another, right now it's a trilogy that would be really good, is the Finding Langston trilogy by Lisa Klein Ransom. That's set during the Great Migration, and they're really skinny. So if you need a skinny, really short book, they're fantastic. Oh my goodness. The first one's Finding Langston, and then Leaving Lyman and Being Clem is the third one.
You just read those, didn't you?
Huh?
Did you just read those? I feel like you've talked about
I just read Being Clem this summer. I read the other two in February or March.
Okay.
Yeah, I read them at the beginning of the year.
Maybe I was catching up on some older videos. I feel like I just heard you talking about it.
I was just talking about Being Clem when I did my top 5 of the summer.
Maybe that's it.
So, yeah. And then one that everybody needs to read this book is Jefferson's Sons by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. However, it's out of print, so it's really hard to find. So check your libraries. Your library should have it. It is one of the absolute best middle grade books I have ever read. It is about Thomas Jefferson's kids that he had with his slave, Sally Hemings, and what it was like for them growing up. And it was best last page of a book I've ever read in my life. It was so good. And then another one that I read this year that I absolutely loved is Length of a String by Elisa Brent Wiseman. It's a World War II one about a girl that comes over from Luxembourg to live in New York City. And so it's dual timeline. There's a timeline that's current day that is about a Black girl that was adopted into a Jewish family. And then the second timeline is about the girl that came from Luxembourg during World War II. And it is fantastic. And then, as always, Until Tomorrow, Mr. Warsworth. If you have not read that, go read that because it is another good one.
Oh, I think I have that too.
That's a good one. And it's really quick. It's epistolary, so it's all letters. And so it's a really fast read, and it is fantastic. It's set during the Vietnam War. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. Cheryl, the book about the woman that goes to the leprosy camp is called The
Second
Life of Muriel
West.
Something. Muriel West. So, all right. I gotta find where I was at. Trying to read through all these. Yep. See, Debbie knows. This book, so good. Hands down agree with this. Echo, if you're going to do Echo, do the audiobook because it's a chunker, and it's about a harmonica, and in the audiobook it plays the music and it's perfection. Absolute perfection. You're going to borrow your son's book, Making Bombs for Hitler. Ooh, that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
What's that other one that everyone's read too about the golem and the chimney sweeps?
Oh,
the sweep. The sweep. Yeah. Sweep. Does that count as historical fiction?
Yeah, that's historical fiction. That is fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, here's a bunch. Let's see. Refugee, The War That Saved My Life. Across 5 Aprils. I don't know if I've heard of that one.
I read that one.
Black Powder.
Across 5 Aprils. It's a Civil War historical fiction. I loved it when I was a kid, but I reread it and it can be a little dry at times, but it's still interesting. But
Words on Fire is Jennifer A. Nielsen. She wrote A Night Divided also. They're both historical fiction. Black Powder I've never heard of. So, War Horse. That sounds good.
Oh, I did hear that that's supposed to be really, really good. Who just told me about that?
Another one, R.J. Palacio just came out with a new book that would be historical fiction. I don't know when it's set. I want to say in the 1800s sometime. But it's like totally not, it doesn't have to do with Wonder at all. She wrote Wonder. But it has nothing to do with that at all. It's just a complete new story that has been getting good reviews. But War Horse. Oh, her book is called Pony. I think that's why I was thinking of that.
I was going to say, I'm like, where does this all come together?
It all makes sense in my head. Oh, man. Talk to my husband. He's the same way. He's like, huh? Where's the link? It's in here somewhere. Don't ask questions. The Sherwood Ring and the Raven Master's Secret. I've never heard of either of these two. I'm going to have to look those ones up. Yeah, Night Divided is about the Berlin Wall. That's a good one. That's like 1980s. It's a good one.
I feel like I really want to read more about the Berlin Wall.
You should read 40 Autumns. It's a true story about a family that got divided on either side of the... Oh my God, it's so good. And then somebody that I work with, she knew one of the people. Like, it was crazy.
Wow. It's a nonfiction?
Oh, I'm going to have to... I just find that absolutely fascinating.
So good.
Yeah. Because that's what this one's about. Night Divided is about a family who the wall went up when Dad was on the other side of the wall and they got divided. All right. Escape from Warsaw. Interesting. Let's see what else. Yeah. I read Chains of this series, and it was super good. I read it when I was watching Turn to You, and it's Revolutionary War also, and it's very, very interesting. The Singing Tree and the Good Master. I've never heard of either of those ones. I love all these recommendations of books I've never heard of. This is exactly what I wanted.
My TBR has grown exponentially.
Yeah, I know, right? By a lot. Avi has a ton. City of Orphans is about the Newsies. What?
No, I need that.
How did I not know this? Is it good?
Doesn't matter. It's about Newsies. I want to read it.
What's the Newsies?
What?
What's the Newsies?
What? Gloria.
Gloria!
Sorry.
Do you have Disney Plus? Go look up the
It was
Newsies.
a movie.
Watch the musical. It's a musical.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Okay. My bad.
Disney Plus. Go watch the musical. You can thank us later.
Yeah.
It
follows the
newsboys, guys that sold newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh.
And were on strike for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the movie follows that. I don't know what the book
Such good music.
It's such good music. And what's his name? Christian
Bale.
Yeah.
Yes. A young Christian Bale. Probably inappropriate now that I'm like as old as I am, but still. All right. Ooh, see? Becky finished it too. This one, and it was wonderful. Okay, I definitely need to read that book then.
I do too.
That sounds so good. All right, Winnie's Great War. This is about the real story of Winnie the Pooh. I have heard of this. And yes, I've heard about this one. I want to read this. A Long Walk to Water. I've heard of that one. Johnny Tremaine. All right, Roll of Thunder.
Oh, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry.
Yep. And Sweep. Oh, yes. But yay. All right. So, Angie just got here. Hi, Angie. We're wrapping up. This is our last one. But we would love to hear all of your recommendations. Still list them. So if you guys are recently got here or you missed one of the categories, we had 5 different categories or 5 different prompts that we went through. We had books that involve transportation, a book that you feel like you're the last one to read, that everybody else has read it. We have a middle grade book, a book to movie adaptation, and a book with 3 words in the title. So if you were not here when we talked about any of those, feel free to leave your comments in the comments section, and that way we can go back through and read all of them and get more recommendations. Are there any other books that you guys want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to mention yet? For historical fiction in general that you would recommend? Books that you feel like more people need to read?
This one.
Ooh, I have that one.
By Nancy Turner. You guys, I just don't think it's talked about enough, and it's written in the form of a diary, like late 1800s, early 1900s, as she travels through the Arizona territory. And I mean, hello, it has a map. So, like, I just don't think this gets talked about enough.
I have that one. I need to read it.
Get on it.
Yeah.
I should reread it.
Another like obscure one that nobody ever talks about except me, and I talk it to death, is Everything Else in the Universe. It's a middle grade that's about Vietnam, or it's set during Vietnam. It is phenomenal. It's so good. And I want everybody to read it. But I feel like I have like a set number of books that I talk about all the time, and that's one of them. So, yeah. I'm reading some of that Ship of Dolls. I had this one. I don't know where it went. It's based off of a true story. I remember that, but I don't know. They Went Left. I've heard of this one.
Yep, I've heard of that too.
Oh, yes, Krista.
Oh, yeah, the
story. How did I forget this one? I have it written down.
It's like one of my favorite books of all time.
My favorite book. I like the storyteller more than the Nightingale, which is an unpopular opinion.
And I go back and forth between the two.
The storyteller so much.
When is that set? Is that set in
World War II?
Okay.
It's dual timelines.
What's the quick synopsis?
It is about a girl who is going to a grief support group, and she meets an old man and becomes friends with him. And then
like really good friends. And everybody loves this guy.
Everybody loves him. He's like great in the community, yada, yada, yada. He comes to her one day and says, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to kill me because I'm a Nazi. Or I was a Nazi.
I was a Nazi guard at a concentration camp.
And she's Jewish. She's Jewish. And her grandmother is a Holocaust survivor.
And he thinks by having her kill him, it will like
right the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It is.
But I mean, it's Jody. So she is going to make you like be like, well, dude, yeah, kill him, but maybe not kill him, but kill him, but it's wrong. And
it's so good. So you get like multiple perspectives, but you get the perspective of the guard and how he got to that point.
Yeah.
How he even got there. And which I appreciated that as a person now going, how did anybody go along with this?
And
Seeing
she
that
fills that in.
unravel.
And you can't help but be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Jodi's 19 minutes, and you start empathizing with like the school shooter, and you're like, yeah, but that's wrong.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Have you read The Reader? Isn't that what it's called? The Reader, and they made that into a movie with Kate Winslet.
I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the book.
She's like, I think she was a Nazi guard as well. Similar thing.
Well, in Lilac Girls has, she's a doctor at a concentration camp. She's a German doctor at a concentration camp that
does the experiments.
And you see it from her point of view. And yeah, Lilac Girls is another fantastic book.
Yeah.
Listen to that one on audio, though.
And this will be saved as long as StreamYard doesn't do me dirty like it did last time. It 100% will be on YouTube. So shortly after this. And we will have a list of all of the books that we're talking about in the description. Probably tomorrow it'll be there. So if you need to reference something or you didn't remember a book or anything like that, I will have just a list of all of the books in the description. Like I said, probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Krista.
Yes, thank you, Krista. She's got my back tonight, which I greatly appreciate. But yeah. Okay, Vicky, which is a trilogy? Which one was it? Oh, Ship of Dolls. Is that what you're talking about? Maybe? I think that's what you were talking about, is Ship of Dolls. Yes, Tattooist of Auschwitz, Three Sisters.
Ooh.
Silka's Journey was the same author as this too, right? Heather Morris? Is that right?
Yes. And Silka's Journey follows a character from Tattooist of Auschwitz. Is
Three Sisters connected also? I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, Cheryl, we'll put the Google Doc link in our description of this video. So it'll just be there for anybody who wants it. So, yeah. Sounds good.
Oh, it is. It's the Tattooist of Auschwitz #3.
Oh. Good to know. The Taster and At the Wolf's Table. I've heard of these. I haven't heard of The Taster. I've heard of At the Wolf's Table.
I have At the Wolf's Table.
Yeah. That one, it sounds super interesting because it was about Hitler's taster, right?
Mm-hmm. One of them, yeah.
Perfect. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it, guys. I hope everybody was able to get some good recommendations tonight. I definitely have a handful that I have never heard of that I'm super excited to look up and read. So hopefully this helped you kind of put together your TBR for Historathon. I can't wait to see what everybody's going to be reading. Make sure you let us know and all of that. Anything else? I know. I'm so excited too.
Thanks for hosting. I'm so excited.
Yes. It'll be, I always love reading historical fiction. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this will be a good little short go at it. So anyway, anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before we sign off?
No, just a big thank you to everybody that came and for doing this with us, Gloria and Tia.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody make sure you go check out Gloria and Tia and their channels. And thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you for everybody in the comments for all of your recommendations also. Like, seriously, I got so many good recommendations from you guys. It's exactly what I wanted. So, yay.
This was fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I hope everybody has a fantastic week ahead and stay safe and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.